What's happening, friends? My name is Ryan Turford, and welcome to another Game Moose Plays right here on game-moose.com or Game Moose's YouTube channel. Today, we are playing a game that I know a lot of people don't actually know about. First of all, they know that usually if you bring up the series Shinobi with people, people usually get that right away. However, when I mentioned the name Shadow Dancer as a game in the Shinobi series, most people don't actually know about it. So we're going to play Shadow Dancer, The Secret of Shinobi on the Sega Genesis in a crazy world in 1997 New York City. Having vanquished the evil crime emperor of Neo-Zed, Shinobi was not heard of from again. His combat skills were not needed in a peaceful world, but a new threat arose. In the reptilian form that lived in vicious instinct alone, the colossal monster started to grow slowly. It remained only for Shinobi to take action. The ninja of the shadows, his weapons were stealth and quickness of attack. His only allies were facing this force. Relying on his ninja weapons and magic, Shinobi fought alongside his faithful doge. And this is where their fate was decided. So we're going to jump into Shinobi. Basically, Shinobi is actually very similar to something like Ninja Gaiden. It moves a bit slower though, and as you'll be able to tell right away, since this is a 16-bit game, the sprites are bigger, because actually that was a big thing back then, basically game makers at the time anyways had thought, oh man, their game looks so much better when the sprites themselves, like the character models, were actually bigger than their NES counterparts. When in fact that isn't always the case with a lot of games. Like for example, Metroid 2, for example, the reason why Metroid 2 Return to Samus, Samus's model is so big is because that was just a conceit at the time. Levels are actually pretty short though. They go by pretty quickly, and these first introductory levels aren't too difficult, but we're going to start getting into some tougher levels in a little bit. One cool thing, like I said about this game, is your doge. So, for example, if I see that an enemy is sort of tough to get to, I can simply just stick my dog on him, which is pretty cool. However, if you actually do not time the dog properly, it can actually lead to some issues. And the dog itself will actually get hurt, which just makes me sad every time because he actually makes this like really, really sad sound. Basically, like turning him into a small dog instead of a very large dog. Couldn't remember if there's an extra life there or not. So, basically, the object of this game, very similar to Michael Jackson's Moonwalker, is to just save people, and then you can escape the level once you save everyone in the stage. One of the things I like about this game, though, is actually, while the level design can be kind of simplistic, I think that the movement is actually quite fluid. I think that the difficulty actually does get there in some of the later stages. It's got some really interesting like boss designs, so I kind of like that. Again, similar to games like Bubsy, which we've played on this channel already. It's usually one hit kill for the most part. So if you get hit by just about anything, you are dead. But I like that the game just feels fun to play, and that's something that has actually been kind of consistent with the Shinobi series, which is actually, it's kind of weird that when we talk about older games, we don't usually talk about Shinobi as much as we talk about Ninja Gaiden. But I do think the Ninja Gaiden games, if I'm just being blunt here, I do think the Ninja Gaiden games are better games overall, but I do think the Shinobi games are no game really to sneeze at all. So we're going to jump into this bonus stage, and by jump into it, I mean literally jump off a building while shooting like shurikens. In later Shinobi games, what they actually tried to do to limit you is they actually limited your number of shurikens, so you couldn't actually just spam like this. You didn't really have bonus stages like this as well. This is more of an arcadey game, as opposed to something like Revenge of Shinobi, which is very different from this game. The game itself just overall feels very different just overall. Whereas this feels like it belongs in an arcade machine. And I believe it was at one point. There we go. So we only hit 45 out of 50, so we didn't get any free lives. But we got a bunch of bonus points, which doesn't even matter because it's not like the Shinobi leaderboards we're really trying to compete with or anything like that. So we're going to battle on the bridge. Once again, this game takes place sort of in like a New York City that's under attack in 1997 by ninjas. That's like the most 80s or early 90s plot ever. Because most people don't know who didn't live in the early 90s. Ninjas were the big craze in the 90s. People love ninjas. Any game that had ninjas in it was automatically people just flocked to because ninjas were the coolest thing. I mean, it's the whole reason why we have 3 ninjas, which is not a good set of movies at all. Probably, in fact, I would say the 3 ninjas are probably, they could possibly be the worst mainstream movie ninjas of all time. No joke. Boom. Knock one off the edge and then just snipe the other one. So we're gonna need our doge to get through this. We're just killing it today. I can't believe we've only died once, and we haven't used our ninjutsu yet. So basically, every level allows you to use one ninjutsu power that's just assigned to you in the level only once. So once you've actually used it, you can't use it again. You get more points for not using it, but I mean, who cares? They're points. I mean, we don't play Mega Man 1 for points, even though there are points in that game. And of course, I screwed up because if you press up and then jump on one side, it jumps over the fence. But if you have to press down and jump on the other side of the fence. It's kind of confusing. Just let this ninja come to us, because he can be quite deadly if we sort of just leave him alone. Snap. Now we're going to want to, again, rescue the girl, because basically rescuing the girl allows you to basically power up your shurikens and all your other attacks as well, which is kind of nice when we're dealing with the shield enemies, or even just these ninjas, which would normally take 2 or 3 hits to kill. Just be killed in one. See, you can already see that I'm doing it right now. I'm trying to press down to go the other way, and it's not the right way to do it. Back. Got him. No, take no prisoners. We're not letting anyone live. All right, so now we're on to the boss. The boss itself is like a face in a brick wall, because I don't know why. It just doesn't make any sense. He's like, again, he's like a brick wall rock monster. It was the 90s. The 90s were a weird time. Especially because, I mean, in other Shinobi games, in fact, you fight enemies like Spider-Man and the Terminator and some weird stuff. And they're all licensed too, which is just bizarre. Look at that. Look at those hands. And as long as we just stay out of his range, he's easy peasy. He just lights on fire. Apparently shurikens just cause giant wall rock monsters to light on fire, because sure. Alright, so let's try and see if we can hit most of the ninjas this time. And I don't know why these ninjas just keep flying up these broken New York buildings. I'm going to do more controlled bursts this time. Oh, one got away. They're actually positioned in such a way that if you actually just spam the button, you will actually end up missing some. Like right there, for example. We actually missed more this time than last time. Well, by 1. 44 instead of 46. Or 45. Alright, so we're moving on to the third and final stage of this Let's Play, the Statue of Liberty. Because if it's one thing ninjas want to take over, it's the Statue of Liberty. Sure. I think when you take New York City and you're ninjas, you need to take the Statue of Liberty. You got to take that liberty away from them. Although I don't remember this warehouse being a part of the Statue of Liberty. But it just is. These frog guys, by the way, are a big pain in the ass. They will sneak up behind you because they themselves are ninjas. Aw, my dog. See, that's what happens when the dog misses. Luckily, the power-up was right there, so we were not totally screwed. With the power-up, it just makes those ninjas so much easier. always dealing with the police officers with the guns is actually so much easier than going for the shield guys. Just because those bullets can actually be, as you can tell, by getting hit in the foot by a bullet, being quite deadly. And the one issue about these stages is that there are no checkpoints. So if you die at all, you just start the whole stage over. It's the one conceit for having really short stages. But as you can sort of see, like, the difficulty curve is starting to ramp up a bit. We're getting more dynamic enemies with better patterns, or even just the way even some of these enemies here are positioned can be a real, just be real trouble, like that. Especially because we don't have the power-up as well. Counter dodge. Got those frog guys. Oh no! We were so close. All right, well, we'll use a continue in order to... I just want to show you the end of this level, of course. I'm just an old man. I'm not the Sega Genesis player I used to be, ladies and gentlemen. At least, luckily, when we do use a continue, all the hostages are actually back, which means we can actually get the power-up again. Oh, no. I'm just playing really sloppy right now. But yeah, the last Shinobi game, just talking more about the Shinobi series history, was a PS2 game. It was basically, Sega just trying to bring back the franchise as like a Ninja Gaiden-esque game, because that was after Ninja Gaiden Black came out on the Xbox. So it was sort of like the PS2's like answer to a game like Ninja Gaiden, or even just Sega's answer to it, because, you know, ninjas are cool, so we want to actually see some ninja action. So it's been a long time since we've really like seen the the Shinobi series come back. I'm kind of expecting them to maybe take another run at it eventually. If not now, I do think it will happen at some point, because the Shinobi series, for all its faults, it is actually kind of cool. Especially without a new Ninja Gaiden game around now. Like the last one was Yakuza Ninja Gaiden, which was a terrible game. But we haven't really seen one since, so it might be time for Sega to actually dust off the old Shinobi franchise. Especially because Sega has actually come out and said that they're actually looking to revive some of their classic game franchises. And I actually think that Shinobi, if done well, could actually be like a really good game for them. It doesn't have to be a game like this. It just can be, again, like a third-person action game similar to Ninja Gaiden. I think would actually be pretty sweet. Alright, so we're moving to the second stage here. Now, we don't actually have to rescue anyone this time, but this stage can actually be pretty difficult because, number one, we don't have the power-up here, and but number two, there's lots and lots and lots and lots of ninjas on this one. But we can, luckily, knock them off the platform. All we have to do to sort of avoid that is just jump, which is kind of weird because I'm sort of jumping into the fire, but I'm not getting hit by it. But if I stand there in the fire, I get hit by it. And we're just riding this really slow elevator all the way up. Again, lots of ninjas. Lots of ninjas. We may actually be tempted. I'm going to give it another go here without using ninjutsu, but we might actually have to use it at some point. Plus, I guess I should probably actually show you all how it actually works. Again, the ninjutsus have actually been always been part of the Shinobi series, even going back to the first game, or even games like Revenge of Shinobi. You had like sort of, you could actually select which ones you wanted by picking them up at the level, which was pretty cool. And then by the time it got to Shinobi 3, you actually could just have any of them at once, and you could sort of switch between them, which was pretty cool. You even got to use them a little more often than you do in this game as well, which is just a delight. Of course, we're trying to balance like those ninjas and the gunfire. It's a lot. So this time I'm actually going to just use the ninjutsu on that platform. Of course, my doge really can't do anything against these guys. If I run him into the ninjas, he will immediately just get hurt, and I'll be real sad because I don't like seeing dodges get hurt. Bam. Come on, there you go. Alright, I think we're almost there. It's the next platform. Alright, let them spawn, and there we go. Hiya! Sure. Alright, here comes the helicopter, which is easy enough for us to avoid when we're not balancing having to fight like 5 ninjas. And again, luckily we can just sort of pair them together and then just whack them with our sword. That one platform is definitely the hardest one, and now here we are at the end of the stage. Come on. Oh, there we go. Alright, here we go. It's time for this boss, which is some weird, like really weird person with the hair. Very, very 90s look, ninja look, with saws. There's a bunch of lightning. Again, in order to kill this person, we have to get them in the hair. Come on, there you go. I like sort of the spark effects that they actually have with the buzzsaws in this, though. That's actually really impressive for an older game like this, especially a Sega Genesis game. Because if the Sega Genesis is known for one thing, it is not amazing graphics. Yeah, it does have some pretty good graphics, but in case you're wondering what the ninjutsus do against the boss, bosses always take two. It takes 2 hits off the boss essentially if we use ninjutsu. Come on, I want to hit you in the hair. That sounds weird. So if we actually hit him one more time, we can actually just use our ninjutsu to finish him off. Come on. And there we go. We have finished the crazy-haired ninja with the blades off. Sure. Anyways, that's going to do it for this Let's Play of Shadow Dancer Shinobi, the Secret of Shinobi. I don't even know what game we're talking about. Shadow Dancer, the Secret of Shinobi, as I do the bonus stage while you're watching. Of course, you can find our videos again at game-moose.com, where you also can find views, reviews, our podcast as well, which airs every Sunday, as well as many other things. You can also find me on Twitter at Ryan Turford, that's Turford. You can find Drew McMillan on Twitter at DMcMill, and the Brockstar himself, Brock McLaughlin, on Twitter at Brock McLaughlin. Anyways, if you like this video, of course, like, comment, subscribe, and if you don't like it, just comment as well, and just let us know what you sort of want to see us do as well, because we're sort of experimenting with these Let's Plays. We really want to know what type of content you guys want. So if you want to see more retro game content, I have a ton of games to play. So let me know if you want to do that, and we can certainly make those happen. If you want to see more modern games, let me know as well, and we can do some of those as well. We're even going to do some Team Let's Plays with Brock McLaughlin and Drew McMillan and myself as well. So those will be coming up in the near future as well. So anyways, I hope you enjoyed this video, and have yourself an awesome day.